All right. Good morning, everyone. Caribou Heart TV here. New day, new time. We got something special in the works today. This is the what we're gonna call the pilot episode, and the working title is Cannabis and Coffee. You've heard the rumors coming at you for a little while now that we're gonna start trying to tackle the Monday morning show and start doing weekly morning shows. And this is going to be our first attempt at it. So on the screen right now, you're looking at Paula, Chef Paula. She's going to cook us up something amazing today. And then we've got Sweet Johnny Farms. You know him, you love him from Cannabis. He's hanging out on Instagram nowadays. And we're going to do a show. We got some really cool shit to talk about. First and foremost, the cannabis and coffee. We think it's not bad. We think we can come up with a better title than that. So we're definitely open to some suggestions on that. So let us know in the comments what you think about that, either in the live chat or in the show comments down in below. Paula, how you doing today?
Sorry, I'm well. Didn't unmute myself yet. I am good. We're just hanging out this Monday. I'm gonna make up some ham, egg, and cheese biscuits for, start the Monday off with a full tummy and medicate it.
That sounds great. This is you're doing. So I'm gonna babble like an idiot a little bit and mumble here and there as it is earlier. Like fuck, we've never done a show at 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. On the Pacific Coast here. It's 7 where you're at, which would make that what 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Like we're doing it early. Like we were serious about the coffee and the cannabis on both those levels. But my brain isn't functioning yet, so I'll end up mumbling here and there. My apologies on that. We'll get better as we go. Sweet Johnny, how you doing, man? What you got going on?
Oh, sipping on some coffee. Got some lemon Jeffrey ready here, and even got my news topics written down so I'll know. Just ready for this new venture and have fun. Expand this show a little bit. See how it goes.
I think the fun is key. That's always rule number one. Whenever we do a show, it's got to be fun. We've got to enjoy being on the show, and it's got to be enjoyable to those that are watching the show. But the whole, we're kind of just a lovable bunch of fuck ups, really, around Caribou Heart TV, and I don't think anybody will disagree with that. But we have a lot of fun with it. But we want to kind of show that we can do some knowledge dropping at the same time. Oh, here comes DP in here. We want to be able to drop a little bit of knowledge and show people that, you know what, we can do some pretty damn intelligent stuff too. And so that's actually the whole point of doing the Monday morning. So Paula's cooking that she's been doing, and I tried to say this a couple minutes ago, but I did the tangent early morning thing I was talking about. Your morning cookings that you've been doing for us on Sundays, those have been a hit. I know everybody loves watching them, and like this stuff is just like our mouths are watering while we're watching it. So we just let's do that on a regular basis. Sweet Johnny, you've made some pretty serious progress as a grower. We all laugh and joke about when you first jumped on cannabis there about, like a lot of new growers, you just didn't know what was up and struggling with stuff like that. And you're eager to show people the more serious side of what you can do, man. You just I don't know if I'm allowed to be saying this on air, but so I'll blow your shit up if I'm not. But you're going to be maybe testing for Irie now is the new rumor, right? So you've come a long ways. That's very super cool shit. DP, the mental health man himself, looking all super tired. Did we wake you up, or have you been up for a bit? You're on mute, brother.
No, I just literally, alarm was blasting and I rolled over.
But it's all good. Hey, so one of our reasons for wanting to have you on a more serious style panel is mental health has always been a very serious thing to you. Now, I don't know how far we'll get into that today. Yeah, you and I had that discussion yesterday. Do you have anything ready to go to talk to today? And you're like, whoa, dude, chill the fuck out. I'm not ready for that yet. So we've got a pretty good couple subjects that we'll get into here shortly. We're just still doing the good mornings. How's everyone doing? I think what we've done here is put together a really good group of people. We can have some fun and we can put some really good knowledge out there too.
DP, good morning, by the way. And I feel you when Caribou messaged me yesterday. It's like, are you free on Monday? And I'm like, yeah, what am I going to do exactly?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He's like, yeah, it was great. Yeah, so I'm glad to be here this morning. Glad Paul's cooking. Johnny, good seeing you. Caribou, thanks for getting us together. Yeah, just cooking, getting stoned, and we can talk some mental health. And Johnny, super proud of all the progress you made. You know, we talk about it all the time. You know, just a year and a half ago, where you know, where we all were.
I couldn't even pop seeds a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you're a badass grower testing for Irie. Like, it's cool how shit comes, man. And I love it, and I love you guys. This is going to be a great time. So I think let's get right down to business. Johnny, you have some legality type stuff over in the state of Illinois that you wanted to talk about. We've got a few different states that we'd like to cover, but we've got a pretty good population in Illinois. DP and Johnny are both down there. Fluff, you know him, you love him. He's down there. 311, he's another Illinois guy. We got a huge following down there. So let's see what's going on down there.
What I plan on doing is pulling up that Illinois article and reading it, and then we'll just have a discussion about it.
Okay, we can do that. Are you wanting to try and screen share that, or do you want me to try and screen share it? Because I can do that if you want.
If you better try to screen share it, because I got to pull it up. Remember, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
So I'm pulling it up right now. Illinois.
1 second here. Got all these pop-ups that want to jump on my screen all of a sudden. I'm like, no, get the fuck off my screen. There we go.
All right. Let me know when you're ready for me to start reading away.
We're looking at it right now, Johnny. So give her shit, buddy.
All right. Illinois Supreme Court denies request to let state name craft cannabis license winners. Applicants saying ongoing litigation affecting their finances. All right. The Illinois Supreme Court has denied a request to let the state name new craft cannabis license winners, meaning that all applicants must wait while some pursue lawsuits over their statuses. The cannabis company 1837 Craft Grow LEC had asked for the court to modify lower court orders preventing the state from issuing the next round of license. The court did not comment on the request beyond stating that it was denied. That's it.
Okay, so for anybody outside of Illinois that's unfamiliar with your situation, what is exactly is this telling us, Johnny? Like what is the argument at hand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. What does this mean for that argument?
Well, Illinois they did this, the cannabis, craft cannabis things, applicants. How long ago was that? Was over a year ago, wasn't it, DP, that they started doing all that?
Yeah, so yeah, they did the social equity drawing for the craft cannabis it was around a year ago. I think we had Fox River Farms on the cell on the show, and he was talking about he had gotten a license in 2 other states, in Oklahoma, and then he had one in Michigan, and he was getting one here for social equity in Illinois, from Illinois, and he has all sorts of charges and stuff in here that would qualify him for that. And so when they did the drawing, like I said, it's supposed to be social equity. So everybody that's been messed up in Illinois from drug charges in the past and stuff like that, they kind of have a little bit more lean in for the licenses. And so when they did the license and everything like that, the lottery, 2/3 of the people that won had ties to corporate cannabis.
Yep.
And most of those being from out-of-state companies, states that weren't even here in Illinois. So when people found out about that, they, got upset, obviously. And so they had to go and pull all those licenses and everything like that, and they had to redo it all. And so Fox Rivers didn't win his, you know what I mean? A lot of other people didn't win theirs. So I know they've been trying to fix that debacle ever since. And
Well,
it's crazy because, like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost like 98% sure that here in Illinois, once craft cannabis does open, it's supposed to be the best of the best craft cannabis, right? Small batch stuff. You can't use your medical marijuana benefits. So you have to pay recreational prices as a medical patient to get quote unquote the best medicine, you know? So that right there just kind of goes to show what they're on.
well, and then I believe they had to pay an ungodly amount just for the application, to do the application themselves. So I understand where all these applicants are so upset because they're not announcing the winners. All the state, it seems like to me, is just sitting on the money and letting it collect interest for the state, and nothing's coming.
Yeah.
Well, the courts will end up doing. They'll have to do something about it.
Well, yeah, exactly, and courts cost money. You know what I mean? So
My question is so like for here in Oklahoma, we don't have a cannabis anything. So what is the difference between a cannabis grower, and I know a commercial is, you know, large in facility, and a home grower? I mean, what is the purpose of getting this license instead of just being a home breeder?
Plant counts higher, more plant counts higher. Yeah, I mean, because you're doing, you got the craft license. I think the craft license allows you 1,000 plants, if I'm correct. I'll know in a few minutes when 311 gets here, because me and him were thinking about applying for that craft license for a while, and we never did because it was so controversial and shit. Just it was all messed up. So
well, the thing is, you're able to legally sell cannabis. You know what I mean? So like, you can't do that as a home grower. As even as a medical patient, the stipulations are you can't gift cannabis as a medical patient. You can gift as a rec. As rec, you can gift somebody all the weed you want, but if you grow weed yourself, you cannot gift it to somebody else.
Well, see, it's a little different here. You know, me, even as a home grower, if I go and have my stuff tested at a lab, I can walk into any dispensary and sell my home brew as long as there's tests on it.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. They try to make it to where your home growers can't get tested, and you have to jump through all these hoops and everything else, you know? So
like, I was a little unsure of what the craft cannabis actually was, as, you know, not being in the state there with y'all.
More taxes on it.
But
you have tier systems, you know, we don't have tier systems here. So if they fuck up something, like their booth is the same as their fucking ZA, right? Like it's all booth.
Yeah.
Well, our tier system here is just like bottom shelf, middle shelf, and top shelf, but it's all the same amount of tax. I mean, across the state here, the sales tax and the marijuana tax is about 16% on anything we buy.
Yeah, we're thinking like 40-something% for rec.
Yeah,
but we're still medical. I mean, I know rec would be great, but until for us, rec here would be removing the way we're allowed to consume it as well.
I don't know. I look at it all as like, even rec, you know, is using it medicinally in my eyes. You know what I mean? Because normal people or whatever, right? Like they'll smoke a joint and might not like it, right? Might try it again, might not like it again, might not like that feeling. For me, you know, this is how it ties into mental health and stuff like that. How cannabis has always played for me, because I just get overstimulated. You know what I mean? So cannabis just helps me process things a little bit easier. It helps me not get so excited. It helps me calm down a little bit more. It helps me be able to focus on. Not all the time. Some weed does the exact opposite for me, but you know, majority of the time it's there to help me and aid me in my everyday life. And so I know it does that for other people. So that's why I was always so passionate about it, and that's why I love this group of people. And yeah, cheers! I'm gonna get this doobie going. Follow what you got going.
I am fixing to make up the ham, egg, and cheese biscuits. We've got some medicated baking mix and a little bit of medicated salt and some can of oil for the egg, and we are going to make breakfast and have a meal.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm gonna be rolling up some of this golden goat from our boy Fluffykins. Nice, nice smoke right there. So you make all your biscuits and everything from scratch, man. I used to love that. My mom used to do that back in the day.
Well, it's not scratch. It's the box baking mix for like drop biscuits.
That's scratch to me.
I don't know. I like for like breakfast. If I'm gonna make like biscuits and gravy, I really prefer like a buttermilk biscuit per se, really flaky and layery. The baking mix, I'm already tongue tied. That bowl must have been really good. The baking mix ones are a little more heavy and dense, but they're very filling. So it's all good. So I have in here about 2 grams of the ground up decarbed flour. We're just going to add our 2 cups and 1/4 cup of baking mix, our 2/3 cups of mix. Oh my Lord, milk. It's Monday. I'm sorry. Coffee is kicking in. Marijuana is kicking in, and I'm ready to go make some food.
That's all right. It's Monday morning. It literally is. We've never attempted anything this early, and so it's okay to do the mush mouth or mind goes blank type shit.
So, and then I've got my baking sheet over there where we're going in a moment, and I got the oven at 350. There is some controversy studies out there that say cooking over 350 deteriorates the THC potency level. And there are some that are not. If you use as much as, say, I do, you don't really miss if you overcook it or something of that nature. And I'll do some more research and find out, maybe one of these days we can talk about that. Actually do more studying on the heating process and stuff. And then I'm going to fry up an egg. So do we want an over medium egg or a scrambled egg this morning?
Medium.
I lost you, Johnny.
Medium.
Medium. All right.
Even though I usually eat over easy.
I'm an over medium gal. I like the whites to be done. So there's your biscuits. We're gonna throw them in the oven and then make an egg. Well, actually, we're gonna smoke a bowl while the biscuits bake, and then we'll make the egg and the ham. So, what is everybody smoking on this morning?
I'm getting ready to smoke my first try of this Jack the Ripper that 311 just brought over.
Hey.
We got a special guest. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, I have to thank Prophet for my apron. I bake so I don't punch people.
That's badass.
Right.
But this Jack the Ripper, though, man, I'm telling you, it smells just like Lemon Jeffrey. I mean, if I was just to smell the bag and didn't know that he had told me it was Jack the Ripper, I would be calling it Lemon Jeffrey.
The Jack the Ripper I grew and cut just after Christmas there kind of had like that lemon cleaner-ish like the Lemon Jeffrey does, but it also had just like I don't know if it was like Dirty Feet or something like that, like some kind of funky bee-onus to it too.
Yeah, it doesn't have that full-on lemon smell that the that has. It has that undertone. I can see the undertone of the dirty armpit. You know how I like to refer to it as armpit.
Yeah, yeah. If it smells like some rank ass hippie chick, yeah, it's the good stuff.
So Paula, do we got a little break while you're cooking, or
Yeah, we have about 10 or 15 minutes.
go ahead and go on to the second subject?
Yeah,
Beautiful. Caribou, you want to pull that up and I'll pull it up on the phone and read it?
Just give me 1 second there.
You let me know when you're ready and I'll let you know when I am.
Go to this. Okay, Kentucky Democrats file bills to legalize marijuana. Whenever you're ready, Johnny.
All righty. Here we go. Kentucky Democrats file bills to legalize marijuana. 3 Kentucky Democrats, including a top party official in the state Senate, have unveiled sweeping bills to end cannabis prohibition by legalizing sales to adults over 21. Congratulations, guys. Establishing a medical marijuana program for registered patients and expunging past convictions that the sponsors say never should have been charged in the first place.
Amen to that.
Senate Minority Floor Leader Morgan McGavry, Senator David Yates, and Representative Rachel Roberts introduced the 74-page legislation on Thursday. A complete Republican-led proposal filed in January would legalize only medical cannabis. The Democrat sponsors of the new bill said at press conference that their plan would allow the state to catch up with the 37 others that already allow patients access to medical marijuana, establish a new revenue stream for the state and local governments, and free law enforcement to focus on more serious crimes. Our legislation is the comprehensive plan that Kentuckians deserve. It builds on what's worked in other states while avoiding their mistakes, Robert said. Kentucky continues to fall behind in the area where we would be leading, says McGavry. It is 2022. It's time we end the prohibition on cannabis in Kentucky. Amen.
Fuck yes.
The legislation SB 186 in the Senate and HB 521 in the House is dubbed Let's Grow, an anchoring built on the bill's main components: legalizing sales, expunging crimes, treatment through medical use, and taxing of the adult use sales. It would also expand funding for treatment of substance. Where was I? I just lost. That's the same. I hit my button. Deal with me for a minute, please, y'all. Is this thing?
it's early and it's Monday. We
Yeah.
got it.
Well,
That's why we're calling this show the practice run, right?
oh,
We fully expected fuck ups to happen. It's too early in the morning and it's a fucking Monday. Like what?
well, there we go. That's a good, because the rest of it's just talking about the same, over and over. But that's the gist of it. So I think we could have a topic on this.
Alrighty. Well,
I
First-
totally think it's awesome that they're going to work on decriminalizing it and their Let's Grow acronym. I mean, it's pretty fucking amazing in my opinion.
isn't our good brother Baked in the Bluegrass, isn't he from Kentucky?
Yes, sir. Yes, he is.
So this is some great news for some people that are close to us. This is great news, period, man.
Well,
Sorry about that.
I like what I heard about them trying to do it and learn from all these other states' mistakes. Because I mean to me that's where a lot of these states are running, and they're trying to plan ahead, but then they don't look at some of the mistakes that these other states have made, and I think Kentucky, with them taking a good look at it, I think the Kentuckians are going to be happy with when the bill finally gets passed. Because it should be more focused on the medication and the growers than it should be the government.
Then all the people could come out of the mountains too as well.
Yeah, out
Yep.
of the mountain.
How you doing today, 311?
Pretty good, sir. How are you, Caribou?
Oh, doing good, man. Thanks for joining us. It's always great to have you around doing some serious fucking knowledge drops whenever you're in the house usually. So it's always great, man.
Yeah, we're just trying to fight this stupid prohibition crap and get this stuff legalized and get the people that are behind bars for just growing a simple cannabis plant that helps people, elder elements, PTSD, OCD, ACD, you name the spectrum chart. This plant right here will help you.
I couldn't agree more. The fact that we still have people getting locked up over stupid shit like that is it's beyond ridiculous is what it is to me. It's enough said. I was just about to this cuss words were about to come out in mass, and I thought better of it, I guess.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the plant, you can find this, technically back in the day, it was probably found in every forest, every backyard, and, and now it's, not as bad as it once was, but it is, still people are thrown in jails, lives are ruined, and it's a plant. It's a, loving plant.
I mean, yeah, if you go back to like the history of when it was starting to be demonized and things and why it was being demonized and the real reasons behind some of these laws to begin with, they were bogus, you know what I mean? And the people knew they were bogus. And so they had to keep on lying and keep on adding on more laws. And now they got, once a certain people get in power, you're able to pull strings and stuff. And that's kind of what happened for a long time. It was just a snowball effect. And then, oh, well, we can, monopolize off this, or we can demonize off this. And that's where it went for a long time. Instead of people trying to help people, is just trying to put, crutches on the people and just get them through something. All these medications out there aren't just to cure anything. It's just to get you through to the next one. It's just problem after problem after problem. And you end up with more problems after a lot of these medications anyways. And kind of benefits from all the pharmaceutical companies. We're one of the only companies that sit there and how many like antidepressant ads do you see on every commercial break? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. We're one of the only countries that sit here and pump pills down everybody's throat. Instead of going and eating fruits and vegetables, they'll sell you 9 pills to take. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't want to see corporate cannabis go that way. I really don't. Illinois, I believe they have a bill going into effect allowing rec to grow as well. So that's kind of exciting. I'd like to see a higher plant count, but hey, I don't know if you've heard anything about that 311. But
It's very thin line there. So basically corporate cannabis is way up here, and then now they're doing the craft license, but now everybody that was corporate bought all the craft license. So now they're letting the craft license come out. So basically it's just going to be a facility no more than 5,000, 10,000 square foot that you have to do everything in there, but it's all owned by Cresco or PharmaCann or what else is there? There's IREs or whatever. I don't go to the dispensary anymore. I don't know what's on the shelves, but great.
Luckily, I haven't been in one in probably 7 months. But,
right.
And that's just
And the prices are totally crazy.
I was in one just the other day because I'm in between grows and whatnot. And prices at this dispensary I was shocked, first of all. I was able to get 3 ounces for $2.50. And small nugs, they're nice nugs and trimmed well, super frosty, so I'm not mad at it. But the last time I was in there, an ounce of across the board was like $2.40. It's now down to $1.40 for anything on the shelf. And you can get shake ounces, which is like trim bins of ounces, for $20 and $25. And people are buying that all day long.
I mean, so like when I first started hearing about this, man, like I got jaded really quick with corporate cannabis, and I was F this, F that, right? Well, I guess we need that because not everybody appreciates good cannabis. Not everybody is using it. I mean, even if somebody can't, doesn't appreciate craft cannabis, they're still getting relief from cannabis or smoking, So those big corporations, I feel like do kind of need to be there and stuff like that. Fucking Bud Light, right? The Bud Light of cannabis and stuff like that. Doesn't have to be there, but it'll have its place. But I just don't like seeing them squeezing out the smaller guys. Like the MCMA out in Michigan, shit drives me crazy. It really does.
We didn't get there yet.
That's a good system they had out there. Almost every other state started doing really poorly because of COVID. Michigan started thriving. Everybody got together and started pumping out a bunch of really good medicine, and corporations couldn't keep up with that. So.
Yeah.
Well, I really would.
Go ahead.
I was going to say what helps draw the prices down here. I think you are more on the head that more home growers are growing, and so therefore the commercial grows have a large demand while all the home growers are growing, and so they're the flower on the shelf is just sitting there longer.
I mean, look at the quality. Like when I first started growing, I grew one auto flower under one light, and I knew every single leaf on that plant like the back of my fucking hand, right? You start getting more and more plants, you stop losing that connection, that close connection with them, you know what I mean? And so now you got 2,000, 4,000 plants going on and all this stuff at a big company, and you got new employees coming through constantly because you're a corporation and you have shitty fucking employee standards, so everybody quits after 6 months, right? So they're always constantly fucking cycling people in that don't know what they're doing or don't care or doesn't matter, right? It's just always an influx of people where they don't have that connection with the plant, really. So that's what I really enjoy. But the larger you go, I heard Ross and Jeff talking about this, once you're in there, you lose that special connection with it. The more and more and more and more you go.
The other thing about you good?
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing about I'm new to this, man, So the whole thing about the craft growers license, again, go back to that. In this state, it's like the little man, like us. We could not afford this, dude. It's $250 or it's $25,000 just for the application fee. Okay. And then every year it's $100,000 annually to renew that. So that's where they get us.
See, that's crazy for me because here in Oklahoma, it's $2,500 to get your grower license, and that gives you a commercial place or outdoor place, wherever. And so, I mean, that's like a couple of months rent around here. And then that's all. And then that's good for 2 years. They allow us to have our license for 2 years.
There's no plant count?
No, not for commercial.
That's where we're screwed up. We're screwed up here, man. In Oklahoma, we're coming.
I think what happened. Everybody went down there like, yeehaw, let's go. And, but I'd like to see a lot of the other states adopt some of those practices. And I mean, we're all learning, right? This is all new to us. Fuck, just.
Oh, well, I will let you know, but I have to look up some legislation because our lovely governor wants to reform our medical program before he even thinks about recreational. And that makes me just a little nervous about what he wants to do, and I haven't really done a lot of research yet because he hasn't really released it yet either.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's just ominous sounding when anytime you get politicians talking about reform, it's not usually a good sign.
So I'm going to take this time and pop in and do our biscuits and eggs and stuff real fast. So the biscuits just come out the oven. Sorry, I didn't realize I was so close.
Looking damn good.
So I'm going to put a little can of oil in the pan. I should probably get some lighter pans. I didn't realize when I bought my new pans, I didn't know I was going to be on a show, so I didn't think about black.
We'll set up a GoFundMe to get you some better pans for cooking on the show.
She's like, that's what I got my OnlyFans for.
Now is that just regular oil or is that?
This is the olive oil that I infused into canola oil. Just to grease the pan a little bit and do a little flavoring on the ham and eggs. So, and then I got some can of salt to season with. And so yeah, we just gotta wait a few seconds for this oil to heat up. But I like canola oil instead of and I use olive oil instead of coconut oil just because it has less flavor for me. It doesn't change that coconut taste. I'm not a coconut person.
I'm with you. I like coconut. I'm a huge fan of it. I just don't want all my food tasting like it, and I find the olive oil is a little bit harder or a little bit easier to hide. Just last night for dinner, I did up some pierogies with chorizo, onion, and garlic and stuff like that, and a good dose of our can of olive oil that we did up.
My mouth is watering.
I was staring at that ham like, yeah.
I might have to take myself to breakfast after this.
I told my husband he needs to go hunting because the price of food is outrageous and he needs to just go hog hunting and help save us some money.
See, that'd be badass. We don't have much for wild pigs up here. Fuck, that'd be great if we could fucking go fucking pig hunting.
I love pork, bacon, ham, pork chops, pork roast.
Well, if I wasn't hungry before, you got me starving now, Paula.
I'm just searing the meat a little bit just to give it a little can of taste and to heat it up because nobody wants cold food.
I beg to differ right now.
Well, I mean, cold pizza is pretty delicious, but
I don't have Paula in my.
One of these days we'll develop a teleporting system and everything can just, I can hit a button and send it out.
I like Skunk Ape's comment he just made. He said, Thunder Dan, I love it when people say Northern California is the best when we all aren't at the party. It's like, who's it the best for? You know what I mean? It's usually the case. So, nice comment. While that's browning up, I'm gonna take first day's dab real quick. Get ready and
yeah, perfect time for the dab.
I know we're gonna have to borrow B's dab frog.
Or make up a coffee mug one.
I don't know. Can we do the dab frog on this show? Are we allowed to do that, guys? If we can get a consensus on this, we can throw it up there.
I'm down for a dab frog.
We might as well keep something up from keep all the shows in common. Ooh, that looks delicious.
Oh, it's stuck in the middle, damn it.
I fully blame this on Dab Goblin. Saw his name
and
this is
blaming it
probably
on
gonna bust.
just before we started talking about it there. I saw their comment in the chat there and was gonna type out good morning to him, but since I'm yakking about him right now, good morning, Dap Goblin. Thanks for that. So everyone watching, let us know what you think in the comments below about doing this Monday morning show. What's your thoughts? What's your opinions? What kind of content would you like to see us talk about on this show? The other one is cannabis and coffee, or coffee and cannabis, whatever the hell I called it. That's not like a hard title for the show yet. You know, we're open to suggestions. So like, let us know your ideas for what you might want to see the show called. Because like I said, man, it's still just after 5:30 in the morning here on the West Coast. Like we're truly going hardcore, and our brains are not functioning all that well quite yet. So maybe some of our friends on the East Coast that have already been up for a few hours can help us out with getting the brains functioning.
You said awake for a couple hours. Hell yeah, I think it's early for everybody, but you know, I'm glad we're here. We're having a good time and able to talk some good topics.
I think this is personally, I think the whole concept of what we're doing is really good, and I think it will work out, especially once we get our patterns and the routines established.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind definitely being able to dedicate some time to be able to get some really good information and some good topics and guests talking about some mental health. I really enjoyed the episode with Jinx Proof last night on Eagle. Just phenomenal. You know, Jinx is real big in like the autism community and everything, and she was about to take a stab. But yeah, it's a really good episode. I suggest everybody go out there and watch it. Jinx is a great guy.
I agree with you, DP. I wouldn't mind dedicating each week a segment to mental health. You know, because we all struggle, we all help each other out with it. You know, it's a good subject to touch on, because
I would agree.
Everybody out there's going through it at some degree.
I totally think that marijuana helps all of my ailments, not just my body, but my mood swings and just some everyday problems.
I resemble that remark very much myself, Paula. The mood swings, especially. I've said before, I'm bipolar, so you want to see a fucking mood swing happen fast. But there's that when you start to recognize the signs of, okay, I'm about to go into another episode here, or I'm fully in the middle of another episode, and you're just like, okay, I need to go fucking puff on a joint, chill out. And yeah, fucking, 10, 15 minutes later, you're fucking right as rain again.
Yep. Sorry, Johnny, the egg busted on me when I flipped it, so it's
That's all right.
overwhelmed, but it's still
Looks
a
delicious.
delicious egg. And they're out of my own chickens in my backyard, so I didn't even, I grew these eggs.
I source better chicken eggs than that, man. Right from home.
And I probably should have just used an egg instead of two this morning, but I was really hungry when I made this. So my egg is Stoner Monday. Let's just go with that right there, because the egg is bigger than the biscuit.
That looks amazing. That really truly does.
Now we'll cut it down the middle so y'all can see if it'll stay there. I put mayonnaise on the biscuit, so now everything wants to scoot off the biscuit. I know, I'm a mayonnaise girl. And it's Miracle Whip and not real mayonnaise. There we go. Oh, and the cheese is melted already too. That doesn't help. Oh, I almost cussed because everything is falling apart. Y'all just gonna have to look at the mess right there. Anytime I pick it up, it slides off. So
the bigger the mess, the better the feed, in my opinion.
Right? Like, it is a hot mess. I mean, it looks delicious, but it is not holdable at all.
That's the best kind of breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, that looks phenomenal.
There we go. That looks pretty messy and yummy for a Monday morning.
I'll be there soon.
That looks great. Thank you for that, Paul. That's another amazing display of your stellar cooking skills there. Forget everybody's hungry there. 311, he's like, yeah, I see that, getting excited about it as he's fucking puffing on the joint.
Hey, whenever you're ready, if you want to pull up that third one.
Okay,
we can
yep,
get started
we're
on
getting
it.
there. Let's see, gotta go to over to this guy. All right, South Dakota legalization. What's this shit? Get off my screen. South Dakota legalization bill cleared for Senate vote. All right, Johnny, take her away, brother.
A bipartisan proposal to legalize recreational marijuana in South Dakota survived its first test in legislation. A bipartisan proposal to legalize recreational marijuana in South Dakota survived its first test in the legislature on Thursday as a Senate committee recommended the proposal for a vote in the full chamber next week. With 54% majority voters approved recreational pot legislation through a ballot measure in 2020, however, Republican Governor Kristi Noem challenged its constitutionality and state Supreme Court ruled it should be nullified last year. Marijuana legislation advocates are mounting a campaign to bring it back to voters in November, putting pressure on Republican lawmakers to legalize it this year. Even some who previously opposed legalizing recreational marijuana say it should get serious consideration now. Republican lawmakers who favor legalization say they owe it to the voters and that the legislation would be smart to take control of the process. A bill known as Senate Bill 3 emerged from a committee of lawmakers that studied the issue for months last year. It would legalize recreational possession of up to an ounce of marijuana by people ages 21 and older and reduce other penalties for possession. The bill also would allow it to be grown, processed, and sold. Currently, possession of 2 ounces or less is a class 1 misdemeanor, punishable up to a year in the county jail and a $2,000 fine. Republican Senator Michael Roll, who sponsored a bill, presented a choice to the Senate Commerce and Energy Committee on Thursday, pass a bill that legalizes up to 1 ounce of pot possession for adults over 21, but keeps the growing of cannabis plants at home illegal, or stand by as voters likely pass a ballot measure in November that allows the drug to be grown at home in some cases. It would be one of the more restrictive recreational programs in the country, he told the committee. They're just going through the same nimble jimble. That's about the topic of it. So that's
all right. Well, you can't be fucking. I lost it there. Fucking sorry. Fucking.
It's Monday, but isn't that where one of the guys from the other show was it about in that area?
Our friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Dakota area.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the other Dakotas though, wasn't he?
Yes. I just think it's funny how every other state's around just right there didn't legalize yet. So like you have to pass through an illegal state to get to that state. It's kind of just a joke in my opinion. So they just realize it, legalize it so you can just go right on through. Because you could fly on a plane with cannabis from Illinois, I think, to Colorado. I don't know about the laws on that, but I believe you could actually carry from a legal state to a legal state.
From what I have been told about them, the airports allow you to do that, but I still think it's a federal, like if a federal officer was to actually catch you, that it could be a different story. But the actual TSA agents and like they don't care, so they're not going to stop you if they see it or hear about it because you are going to a legal state.
From a legal state.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel for him because when Illinois, till we got approved, I was like, man, look at all these states around us that are all approved, and then at first when Illinois, I can remember when Illinois first got approved, and my buddy, he got his license a couple years before I did, but we'd have to drive up to Michigan. And I believe it's when we go up to Flint, I believe it's what's Illinois, Indiana. Indiana's illegal. So we had 60, 90 miles to go through. And I'll tell you what, man, we'd see so many state troopers because they knew people. Illinois just got approved for its card. So we were going through a state, that was illegal, and they just set up and wait and catch a lot of motherfuckers that way. But
I gotta head down to Alabama this weekend, and it's thinking about it is stressful. You know what I mean? It's like it's like, all right, well, once I get down there, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, so it's that whole situation. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they just went medical, but like this is where legalization and stuff like that gets tricky, right? Because they went medical, but they have like a no combustion law, right? Like, you're not able to smoke cannabis or anything. You can only take topicals, pills, and suppositories. You know what I mean? Like, that's really all you're allowed to take, and it's pretty wild. You know what I mean? So when people hear legalization, they get all happy, and they're not reading the little clauses in those laws and stuff like that. These little back doors that they're putting in there that severely and cripple what we call the cannabis industry, or what could be the cannabis industry, and they just make it the way they do it, and it doesn't work like that, and that's why, like, when the whole CBD thing came out and why all those CBD companies tanked and stuff like that, because they're selling it as this miracle thing, and they're selling these CBD tinctures for like $500, and there's like barely any CBD in it when you go to look at it and stuff like that, or the processes that they're using are terrible, and the way they just sold it off, and another big thing is like the Delta 8 and stuff like that, right now. So like, Paula, is that big down there where marijuana is super prevalent everywhere, right? Like,
no, I haven't really heard that much about it, but then again, I don't really look into it. Because for one, I don't understand it. I'm assuming it's just different cannabinoids that have been heated up or extracted out. And I was much against the CBD just because, just give me my fucking plant and let me have it. Why are we processing anything out of it?
I can definitely see the need and stuff for some extracts and stuff. I've heard like really good things with CBG and CBG tinctures and stuff like that, working against some things, but I definitely see what you're saying. And yeah, man, it's just when it comes to Delta 8 and everything, it's price point, right? So a lot of these people, they don't have the knowledge and understanding that some of the other people that are around cannabis a little bit longer do, right? They're just looking to get high, right? They're looking for that relief, and they get that temporarily with those types of things, right? But they get it at because it's cheaper, right? They don't want to go to the dispensary and spend $80 for an 8. It's just crazy, right? So they go and spend $20 an 8. They don't know what the fuck it is, don't know what's sprayed on it, don't know anything,
I guess that comes back to when they brought out all that damn synthetic weed and shit when, back in them.
Well, they got a
form of that was.
They got HHC. It's so it's this new cannabinoid they created, and this one is not supposed to show up on drug tests and stuff like that. And so that's their gimmick on selling that one. It's HHC that they made. Then they came out like a THCO. That's another synthetic one.
Well, speaking of the mental health, like I have a friend that I was talking to, and he hasn't really gone into a lot of her issues, but I do know that she does suffer a little bit from some mental problems and whatnot. And out of all the cannabis stuff that he has tried with her, from full spectrum to CBD, he's recently tried some of the Delta 8, and for whatever reason, that's been the only thing that has helped her. So that's what made me more curious about the different cannabinoids instead of just being selfish about the full plant.
Sure. Yeah, Sorry, I got distracted there. This slurricane smells so good. Breaking up slurricane right now. And,
I was just puffing on some of the cream by Irie Genetics there, grown by a much better grower than I am. So it's at least if I had to go out and buy a bag of weed, it was something better than I'm capable of growing with my current skill level, right? So it's pretty good, pretty good. I love it.
I heard that's one of the stanker of his strains.
Dude, it's good shit. I really like it. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I just got started seeing shit coming up in the chat there on the side screen. I'm trying to read that and talk at the same time, which I'm clearly not capable of doing. So shout out to Johnny for being able to do that earlier for your stuff. I guess, well, let's just bring it up what we're talking about now. So before the show started, we were talking about trying to keep it to about an hour to an hour and a half. We'll come in when we do these with, about 4 to 5 subjects in hand that we would like to discuss and try and get to those and have Paula cook us up something amazing. And then, like the extra a half hour, just in case we do end up running into a great discussion. As I say it a million times, and I'll continue to say, I fucking hate cutting off a great conversation in the middle of it. So, but what do y'all figure? Is an hour good for today, or should we go an extra half?
I got that one article left. That's up to Paula. She seemed excited about it.
I'm always about mushy talk, but that's just me.
Okay, well, we got the one more there to bring up. Give me 1 second to dig her up, and I'll.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one to go on, even if it don't last a half an hour or whatnot. It'll be a good one to
end the show with.
Yeah,
hey, that sounds good.
I think you'll get some people commenting and chat about it too.
Because I was watching yesterday's show, DP, and I was very interested about the guy who's doing the living soil and mushroom grow at the whole same time. So my mushroom guy told me to take my moldy grain bags because they still have the mushroom in it per se, but the mold is also the type of mold that it is also good for the grow, and I plan on putting mine in the ground, so I might even have random psychedelic mushrooms in my grow next year. So I'm excited.
Okay, Johnny, so here we go. We got the article brought up here. The DEA faces challenges to proposed psychedelics ban in its own administrative court. Take her away.
All righty. Researchers and advocates scored a procedural victory this week in their fight against the Drug Enforcement Administration to ban 5 psychedelic compounds, with agencies' own administrative court agreeing to hold hearings on the matter before the prohibition can be enacted. DEA faced significant pushback from the research committee after posting a scheduled notice for the 5, pardon me, I'm not very, triponimins, 4-OH, DIPT, 5-MEO-AMT, 5-MEO-MIPT, 5-MEO-DET, and DIPT.
You're a saint for even trying those, Johnny. I would have fucked them up royally.
Well, that's how they got it written. Yeah. So nearly 600 people wrote public comments on the proposed rule, virtually all of them in opposition. The comment period has historically been where the public's role in federal drug rulemaking stops, but in this case, several different parties submitted requests to have a legal hearing on the planned ban to demonstrate why places the psychedelics in Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substance Act would be unnecessary and having a chilling effect on science. On Wednesday, Administrative Law Judge Teresa Wallabam issued an order that sets those hearings into motion. First, DEA will need to submit a pre-hearing statement on March 28th. The researchers, advocates, and stakeholders contest the rule have until April 27th, and a pre-hearing conference will be held virtually on May 4th. The function of the Office of Administrative Law Judges is specifically to adjudicate in cases related to DEA enforcement and regulations. In this case, the opponents of the agency's proposed ban are hoping the judge will ultimately recommend either a lower schedule or no schedule at all for the 5 compounds. That said, the head of the DA is bound by the judge's recommendation, and past administrators have ignored them in similar cases. Still, Matt Zorn, an attorney representing one of the companies protesting the DEA scheduling action, told Marijuana Moment that taking this step is an important way to hold the agency accountable and get answers. All right. Well, let's have a discussion. Or should I keep? I'll keep going. This one's good. It's a good sign when folks are interested. Oh, wait. The administrative process is capturing a lot of interest within the psychedelic space, and the narrative is going to continue as these hearings proceed. It is a good sign when folks are interested in how government works and how drug policy is conducted. Zorn, who has an extensive professional history in litigating against DA, said, I could think that this will be a positive step forward for folks to understand how this process works. Not everyone who takes issue with a DEA regulation is entitled to this type of administrative hearing. Each person or entity that makes a request for hearing must demonstrate that they would be uniquely impacted by the policy's change, adding to the significance of the fact that the judge granted 5 requests for 1 proposal. It's also been quite some time since a scheduled proposal was subject to this kind of administrative adjudication. In 1998, DA administrative law judge Francis Young famously challenged the agency's classification of marijuana as a Scheduled I drug, arguing that cannabis is one of the safest therapeutic active substances known to man, and marijuana can be safely used within a supervised routine of medical care. It would be unreasonable, arbitrary, and capricious for the DA to continue to stand between those suffering and the benefits of this substance in light of the evidence this record. Young said at the time. The agency, however, ignored the judge's position, kept marijuana on Schedule I. In the initial rulemaking filing for 5 tripitamines, DA said that it took into account research recommendations from the U.S. Department of Health, Human Services, which found that these substances are being abused for their hallucinogenic properties, as well as its own 8-factor analysis before it made the scheduling proposal. DEA said in the last month, noticed that agencies have identified cases of hospitalizations related to the use of the 2 of the tripitamines. One 5-MeO-AMT was found in the person's system. In addition to alcohol and antidepressant, DA acknowledges that it is unclear that what role 5-MeO-AMT played in the death. All right. We can talk on that.
I was kind of wondering when you were gonna run out of steam on that. Well, that was great though.
Yeah, that's decent, man.
I was sitting there reading, and I'm like, man, these motherfuckers are probably getting bored of me reading, but I'm glad I read to where I did.
It's a really good article. I really do like it. And I've been reading these other books and whatnot. You know, the psychedelic group was only legal in 1968. So it's even a more modern prohibition for the mushies and LSD and things of that nature. So, you know, it comes back down to being a money scheme, unfortunately. But, you know, I think the mushroom world can totally help along with the cannabis for PSTD and ADHD and mood swings and all those other
Well,
things that we use.
Yeah, especially with stuff like mushrooms, because I mean they've had studies with like cordyceps and other mushrooms and lion's manes where, in conjunction with psilocybin and stuff like that, where synergistic in the fact that it's like redirecting neurons and damaged neurons and neuron pathways. There's just so much stuff. I mean, the whole beginning on the illegality of psychedelics is ridiculous to begin with. They first started creating this kind of stuff, or not creating it, or started experimenting with it for like mind control purposes and all this other stuff, and it did the exact opposite. You know what I mean? It just opens people's minds. It shows people what's really going on. It shows people the truths of nature, of themselves, of the organic being, of everything, and that's scary for the unnatural world.
Right. Well, and I was watching this one show on YouTube, and it's mushroom and psychedelic therapy, and there's retreats and things for these places now, and the people that were on this show were those that were dealing with end of life things, per se, cancer, terminal, things like that. And like this one guy was a dad of 3, and I mean, like when I say dad of 3, like 6 months old, and he was facing, waking up and his family finding him dead, which I know is a morbid thing, but I through this therapy, he's able to live his life instead of being in fear, because he faced those things and his brain kind of rewired for him to accept what he has and enjoy what he has.
Yeah, no doubt. Unfortunately, my father just found out he's got prostate cancer and stuff like that, so he's going through a lot. Our family's going through a lot, so I'm able to go down there and spend some time with him this weekend. I'm really happy about, and so I'm gonna bring some paper that's been soaked in some stuff and leave it down there for him to, when he's ready. It's really good source stuff. I've had it for a while. It's some of my buddy's head stash stuff, family stuff, So I'm really excited to be able to leave that down there for him, and hopefully he'll be able to, when he's ready, partake and stuff like that. And I love the breakthroughs that are coming through with the mushroom community and everything. For a long time, my mom has Crohn's disease, so she's always wanted to experiment with microdosing and kind of stuff like that. But with Crohn's disease, just a lot of funguses don't work well with that. It can really mess up a body. So, but I've been hearing a little bit more in there about they've been using psilocybin on Crohn's patients and stuff like that, where they're getting some pretty good results. So yeah, I'm excited to see where everything's going on that route for sure. And then you got places like places in Michigan that have decriminalized, Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, the whole state out there has.
Mm-hmm. We even have a representative here in Oklahoma that is looking to decriminalize the psilocybin mushrooms on its own next little bill thing. So I'm excited to see what another natural plant can do for our, society and community.
But you see it going the corporate route already. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be another fucking thing. So that's just something to keep in mind as all this progresses and moves forward. Just educating the general public about it. I don't know if the event has already happened because I'm not too aware of it, but it's a Spread the Spores event. It's out in Michigan, and they'll be talking about all mycologies.
In my opinion, like what you were saying, it's going towards corporate. Everything we got to remember, and as we're trying to push for these legalizations for marijuana and these psychedelic properties and all that, we got to remember, man, America is known as corporate America. So we got to try to get away from that and go back to what the country, what we were founded on, small mom and pop shops, places like that, and build up. I mean, till we get America and the world off of this corporate entity, everything. Of course, we got that should be our main focus is getting.
There's no brick and mortar anymore. Everything's online.
Yeah. Well, and that comes with the world evolving. I mean, I think I'm living 50 years later than what I probably should have. You know what I mean? I should have been born earlier, but I miss the old ways, you know. I mean, I really do.
He's gonna sling you down in a 10 shooter, you know.
I can see that, yeah.
10 paces.
But yeah, I don't know. I just corporate world I do not like.
Well, I don't know much about it, but like owning a business as a small company, you're gonna pay out your butt in taxes. So with you own an LLC, like a corporate LLC, you have an LLC, you open an LLC, and you keep going on and on, then you write all your stuff off, then you don't pay any taxes. See, the little man always gets screwed. But we don't want to dive into this rabbit hole. You know, I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit on it. Psychedelic, mushroom. You know, I didn't want to go too,
Especially with
just
the
a little
picture
bit
behind
Monday.
him.
DP looking good and effed up first thing in the morning.
But
Well, what do you guys figure? Is that about good for this one, or?
I think it went pretty good. I'm happy.
I think you guys were great. We came in here, kind of had a rough game plan, didn't really 100% know what to expect, and I think you guys all did a really great job. Hats off to you.
cheers.
I just want to wish everybody, I hope they all stay blessed, have a productive, positive day, week, and keep growing and fighting for our rights.
I'll second that. Everyone in chat that they're not necessarily even people in chat, everyone that's watching, let us know what do you think of what you're seeing here today. Is this something that you want to see more often? Monday morning shows with the crew here, dropping some knowledge. What's some stuff you might like to hear us talk about on Monday mornings? Is there anything you'd like to see Paula cook? Because I'll bet you you can pick something and she'll figure out how to infuse it and it'll be killer. I just about guarantee that. And just let us know what you're thinking. Hit like, subscribe, all that good shit. And as I've said before, this is kind of one of the first of the next round of shows that we're going to be looking to add to Caribou Heart TV here. And I personally like the concept of what I'm seeing here. Paula, DP, Johnny, 311, you've been great. I know you've mentioned before too that you wouldn't mind being involved a little bit more often too. And you're smart as fuck when it comes to grow knowledge and show that. Very well spoken. So whereas I mumble and ramble off on tangents like an idiot. So it's it's good to have intelligence mixed in there. I think I'm done. Anyone else got anything else to add?
I'll be here every Monday if the show continues. I'll be here every Monday morning. Let's do this. We could do some plan talk. Anything anybody wants to talk about, we could do it. I have to ease into this, my anxiety and let my OCD kind of. But the show will get better.
It will. It's I can tell you even from personal experience, like when I first started doing the podcast, even if it was just me by myself, I would still go back and rewatch and just like, did I say anything stupid and blah blah. And when you go back and rewatch it, there'll be some part where you'll be talking during the filming and you'll be like, oh, I think I just said something dumb and I feel like kind of silly or whatever. You go back and watch it and you're like, well, shit, if I didn't call attention to that while it happened, nobody would have even noticed, because when you're rewatching it, like you hardly even notice it, but you call attention to it, or I call attention to the stupid shit I say on screen all the time. And that's anyways, rambly ass way of saying it gets easier and more fluid as you do it. It's a lot of fun.
I just want to say happy Monday. Hope everybody has a good day, week, and thanks for joining us. And drop a comment or let me know what you want to see on the show. I'm thinking about doing something with infused milk next time, so we'll see what that is.
Strongly believe you can use anything. I really do. But after you did the taco mix, I was just like, yeah, it's done. You can do anything.
Infused milk. Now I'm interested as hell. That's something that's never even crossed my mind as a possibility before.
Can of chocolate milk.
Oh
Ooh,
shit, don't do that
with a
to me.
glass of milk for breakfast. Oh, it's on.
Son of a bitch. Oh, okay, so well, you know what? Let's maybe like as we said earlier, let us know what y'all think in the comments about is this a good concept what we're doing? If the answer seems to be a resounding yes, let's maybe shoot for trying to get something out for next Monday, tentatively. I won't be able to stick around for that one. I'll be able to kind of get the show up and running on the Zoom and then kind of maybe hang out in the YouTube because this is when I'm typically just getting ready for work right now. So it's doing all that good stuff. But no, great job, guys. Great job. Everyone in chat, y'all are fucking awesome. Thanks for getting up early with us. Fuck, man. We started at 5 a.m. Pacific. Is that not fucking crazy? It is. It is. All right. Peace out.